Welcome to the Queer Confidence Podcast, the podcast to help you become your most confident queer self. I'm your host, he, she, they, Coach Alex Ray, and I haven't always been this confident. In fact, I used to be super insecure. And through this show, I want to share with you what's worked for me, my clients, and my guests so that you can become more confident. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Naked episode. I've got Kai with me here today.
Hello. Thanks
for being here, Kai.
Of course, lovely to be here.
Yeah. You excited to get naked together?
Absolutely.
Yay! All right, we're going to dive right in with the questions. So the first one that we wanted to chat about is, do you want to ask first or do you want to respond first?
I kind of want to ask first.
Okay, so the question is about a part of your body that you're insecure about.
Yeah. So Alex.
Yes.
Is there a part of your body you are insecure about?
Yes. So now that I've done a couple, I'm like trying to think, okay, what are some new ideas that I can also share of things that I've been insecure about? I think one of the things that I do really want to share about is my freckles. I've always thought were like, ew, because all of my friends didn't have them and I did, and I thought, okay, I'm the weirdo and I don't want this, and I don't want to have freckles. I look strange. And as a kid, like, adults frequently would comment on them, and they meant it to be like a compliment. But for me, I was very insecure about them, so I was like, no, stop bringing it up.
Yeah, like just the fact that they were bringing it up made you insecure about it, even if it was a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now as an adult, I've learned to be like, you know what? This is something unique. Also, I can't get rid of it. So I might as well love it about myself.
Oh, I absolutely love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that you turn something, like, just because you bring it up, that, or like as a kid, when you say adults will bring it up as a kid, you learned to love it, and I'm sure that didn't happen overnight.
No, it really had to be, I had to first kind of go through a phase of realizing that, like, they weren't good or bad. They're just kind of neutral. And I was kind of stuck with them either way.
They're stuck in your face.
Yeah. But yeah, they're fun now. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course.
All right. How about you? What's part of your body that you feel insecure about?
So for me, it's also on my face. I feel like my cheeks or my chin is a little too round than I'd like them to be. I don't know if this would stem anywhere from childhood. If anything, if I had to say, since I grew up in, like, here in the States, being Asian and all, everyone else had like more, like, I would say chiseled chins where they can cut paper with their perfect jawlines. Not like that.
Or razor blade.
It's just more of like, wow, I see all these people and it's kind of like, I wonder if I can ever get that. But honestly, it's kind of also on me. I haven't really done much to like do anything. Like, I know gua sha exists, or even like...
Wait, I've heard of it. Tell me, what is it?
Oh, I barely know about it. Gua sha is like, I believe it deals with the blood flow of your face.
Okay.
And it's like basically a massage, and use like a tool you can use. Also coming from Asia, in case you can't tell from the name.
Love it.
And you do it like repetitively, and it's supposed to help like keep your chin, because I don't know if you've seen like other Asian people having more rounder faces. Typically, yeah. And so that's part of a way to get more of that, like, that kind of cut razor blade kind of like chin. But yeah, I guess I would be most insecure, but of course it's also on my face.
Well, I want to say, first of all, thank you for sharing that, because I know, like, especially when it's something about our face can be such a big part of our identity.
It absolutely is.
So it can feel really kind of sensitive to talk about it, and I appreciate you opening up about it. And I also think you have a wonderful, gorgeous face, as is. So that felt good. I feel validated. Shall we remove our shirts? Let's do it. Also, I realize I'm unzipped here. Oh my god.
Oh, you were
I gotta save that for later.
You were stripped from the beginning.
Woo! We don't need this. Okay. Awesome. Our next question, we're gonna go a little bit later. Is there a part of your body that you love, that you feel proud of?
Part of my body that I love. It's really my whole body. I love that I'm tiny. I really do love that. Of course, it took some time to love that because, as I said earlier, I grew up here in the States and everyone is taller than me. And of course, I got a little picked on and teased on as a kid. But I just, over time, I learned, luckily, I learned that I loved it early on. I love how tiny I am. It gets some attention for some of the boys.
Yes!
And I just love that. But if you want to talk about a specific body part, it would have to be my butt.
Yeah? Okay, what do you love about your butt?
I love that it gets so many compliments. I love the validation I get from other people, especially when like hooking up with guys or anywhere. They're like, "You have a really nice butt." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you. I haven't really done much to it, but thank you."
You're like genetically blessed.
I know, I am.
I love that. That's awesome. And I really love that you're turning something, especially I know being a minority here in the States, there's this like beauty standard to live up to that's genetically not possible.
Literally genetically not possible.
And so I really like that you have found joy in being, what was the word you used? You're tiny?
Tiny.
Being tiny.
I'm tiny.
I love it. And having a wonderful bubble butt.
Yes. I mean, I know it could be a little bit more of a bubble, but everyone tells me, like, it's already a bubble, you're good. I'm like, okay.
Yay! Well, I think you're super cute, and I'm really glad that you're finding pride in who you are authentically.
All right, now I'll return the question to you.
Okay.
Now, what do you love about your body? Your particular part, the whole dang thing?
I have been really enjoying my butt as well.
Heck yes.
So, it's funny, it's part of my body that I think I overlooked for most of my life. But as I got more like sexually active and started receiving compliments about my butt, I think that's sort of more when I was like, oh, hey, this is something people will like about me, and it's pretty good. Okay.
You own it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I love about that. See, butts, very much overlooked. It's literally not something everyone looks at, especially since we were literally just talking about the face, and now we're talking about another end.
Right. The front end, the back side, all those things.
Yeah, so I love that. You also love your butt.
Oh, did you ever do this when you were a little kid? When I was a little kid, I would like, we had these removable mirrors in the like medicine cabinet above the sink.
Yeah, like the ones that open up.
And so I would take the mirror out and I would put it on the ground and I would squat over it just so I could see my butthole and just see what it looked like.
I have never done that, but I just want to do that for myself. Like that's the first thing I'm gonna do when I go home now. It's just like, I want to go see my own butthole, even though of course I see my own butthole plenty of times at this point.
Right.
But wait, you did that as a kid?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, in my teen years too. Yeah.
I wish I did that.
Really?
Yeah. I now regret something in my childhood.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Deepest regrets.
Deepest regrets. It's like I didn't admire my butt sooner. How dare I not admire my own butt when I was 10 or 11 years old?
Well, good news, you can do it now.
I can do it now. Yeah.
And you'll probably have a little bit more understanding of the admiration you can have for it now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I want to go home and just take a squat.
There you go.
My butthole.
Yeah.
Love it. I say let's do something.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Just throw that.
Are you liking this episode? Enjoy the visuals too on OnlyFans. Use the link in the show notes or go to my website, alex.gay. That's Alex with 3 X's, .gay. Now, let's get back to the action.
All right. Let's see what our next question is. Okay, mental health journeys. Do you want to answer or ask first?
I want to answer first this one.
Okay, fabulous. So tell me a little bit about your mental health journey.
Yeah, so mental health. So first and foremost, I'm going to sit a little up.
Yeah.
So it is very commonly known, or at least I hope it's commonly known, that Asian communities don't really bring up mental health In the beginning, for context, I'm Filipino American, so I'll just talk about like my own experience. So for me, how I got into like my own mental health journey is like I had my sister who went through some shit, and just seeing her go through that, like she was hospitalized and the whole thing. I don't want to get into it all, because that's her story, not my story. But just seeing her like go through that was truly heartbreaking. It really was. And when a few months after I saw that, I started like kind of realizing, hey, like I don't think I'm okay either. So I called her up because she lived like a 4-hour drive away, and I told her these things, and she was like, well, thank you for telling me, but I think you would also benefit from mental health like care. And I was like, I think you're right. Let me think about it more. Let me give it a shot. And so I signed myself up for psychotherapy, so psychiatrist and therapist. And one of the biggest surprises I've gotten, it was my diagnosis. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and I was like, oh, well, that's surprising. I understand that it's just a label. Well, it's a label so that they can properly identify the right care for you, so that they can just prescribe the right medicines.
Right.
And medicines, man, going through that journey was honestly the biggest hurdle.
Oh,
yeah. I don't know if you ever tried medications. Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a whirlwind because it's really just trial and error, and I've felt them all, like rashes, upset stomach, nausea. It was a whole thing. Luckily now I'm starting to settle into something where that works for me. That's kind of what my mental health journey was, and honestly I would owe it all to my sister. And if I hadn't seen her go through that, then I probably would have been too late for me at one point, because it was really bad and suicidal at one point. But luckily, I'm in a much better spot now, and that's where we want to be. That's all anyone can say, just be in a better spot.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here.
Not glad that your sister went through what she did, but I'm really glad that you learned from watching her experience.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that. That was really vulnerable, and I really appreciate you also just kind of opening up and sharing also about how being an Asian guy like affects the way that you are like taught about mental health. Yeah.
So, your turn.
My turn.
Your turn. So you mentioned you've mentioned that you yourself have been on meds at one point or currently.
Yes. Currently.
Oh, currently. So what has your mental health journey been like?
So the briefest version is I was super depressed starting in second grade. And I'm very thankful my parents brought me to mental health services that young. Yeah. I'm thankful that mental health has always been a conversation in my family that has really been, I don't know, it was like always part of life. So I started therapy in second grade. I was in and out for years, and then I hit rock bottom in 2017, and that landed me in the hospital and then a inpatient facility. And I'm so thankful for that because I was on medication that wasn't working at that time. I was seeing a therapist, but I was kind of expecting her to do the work for me. Yeah. And so nothing was really improving. And then in the inpatient facility, I started actually, one, getting on the medication that actually helped. And two, I couldn't like pretend that I was okay anymore because I wasn't allowed to like take care of myself. You know, I can't work while I'm in there. I can't do anything that I had associated with bringing me value or worth. I was really able to realize, oh, these people care about me. So my like worth or value must not be based on what I do for people. There must be more to it. And it's interesting, I've always thought about other people like that other people have inherent value, but I never thought about, or I never realized that applied to me until being in the hospital.
I'm glad, thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm super, super happy that like your family like was able to say, hey, like mental health wise, you're not okay. All the way back to second grade, I would never think about getting mental health care as a kid just because of the way I grew up. I would have never thought of that. And so, and I just thought about that would be so beneficial for so many kids. And I'm glad you were one of them.
Thank you.
I'm glad you were.
Thanks.
And I'm also glad you're here with us.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Can I give you a hug?
Yes, the hugs are involved. Oh, we're both here.
We are. Yay.
We're making it.
All right. Next sock.
Next sock.
Let's do it. I feel more relaxed. How about you?
Oh, I feel very relaxed.
Do you want to talk about pronouns, gender, all that stuff?
Yes,
next? Do you want to
absolutely.
go first or second?
I would love to go first.
Okay, great. So, I know that you said you identify as cisgender,
That is correct.
but you're also open to any pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you get there? Like,
Yeah. So how I got there is really more cultural. My parents have actually called me he and she growing up, and that's because that's because of their language, their native language of Tagalog. That's a native language of the Philippines.
Really?
Yeah. So a lot of people who don't know the language because they kind of compare it to Spanish. Because both the Philippines and Mexico.
Okay.
A quick history lesson: were colonized by Spain, and Spanish, as we know it, is a very gendered language.
Mm-hmm.
Tagalog has never been gendered, and that's because men and women back in the tribal days, so we'll call them, men and women held the same roles. They were both hunters, gatherers, and chiefs of their tribes. All of that. So much.
Hello equality. That's
I know
cool.
it was great. Yeah, bring that shit back. But it was so equitable that their own language. It's always been like their pronouns has always been gender neutral. It's always been person.
That is
Yes.
awesome.
So when it comes to my parents, or really any native Tagalog-speaking person learning English, one of the biggest challenges that they face is learning gender pronouns. And so both my parents really have called me he or she, like growing up, just because, and I never really batted an eye because they don't want to misgender people. They don't want to offend anyone. But for them, it's a lot harder. So that's why for me, it's like, oh, you know what? Any pronouns work for me. Any other conventional
Nice.
pronouns will work for me,
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by my pronouns are more cultural. And
That's cool.
it's not necessarily more of a self-identity, but I still very feel comfortable in my own skin as calling myself a cisgender male.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that with
Yeah.
us. And I really appreciate the like cultural lesson. That was really cool.
It is a cultural lesson.
None of that toxic gay
Oh.
man masculinity shit.
No, we can get that out of here. It doesn't belong here. That's not,
Yeah.
not in this game.
No.
So, now I'll return the question to you. So, you, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
you also go by any conventional pronouns,
Yeah.
correct? So, what was that journey like? How did you come to realize that yourself?
So, during the pandemic, as we were isolated, I think it was because of the more turning inward and getting to know myself better that I started discovering a little bit more about my gender and gender identity. And it's also when I started wearing makeup,
Really?
like on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I also, growing up, of course, I had a lot of the same stigma that a lot of gays have, that like, okay, I'm a gay man, I have to be as masculine as possible. I need to hide this femininity or get rid of it, right? Starting in the pandemic, really, is when I continually embraced more and more my feminine side and realized that the way that I think about myself is closer to like holding both masculine and feminine energies. I feel very connected to both parts of myself, and I like now being a blend of masculine and feminine. And I feel like when I dress more feminine, my more dominant side comes out. And when I dress more like traditionally boy, my more gentle side comes out.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. And I kind of have these two pictures of like my inner child is like this young boy, but then I have like this female dominant inner persona as well. And these parts of myself, I don't know, they all come together as a way of me understanding myself and navigating the world so much more effectively than just trying to force myself into one tiny little lane.
That reminds me of like the whole like left brain and right brain thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So when you say it, it's like, oh, when I dress more femme, I actually feel more masculine energy coming out. I'm dressing more masculine. You feel more of that gentle, like femininity. So it's like, wow, but you feel both.
Yes.
It's like both your left and right are coming together.
Yeah.
And to who you are.
Yeah.
And so I just find that so fascinating, and I'm glad. And also, when you say makeup, that's pretty recent to be getting into makeup, and I admire that.
Thank you. I remember the first time I showed up to a Zoom call with eyeshadow on, and I thought, oh my god, he's gonna hate me. Oh my god, he's gonna hate me. And then, but I was like, I need to do this. It feels right for me. And then the first words out of his mouth were, I love your eyeshadow.
Oh, I love that.
Can you please do this more often? And I was like,
That's
it felt so good.
That must have been so like gratifying too.
Yeah.
And so validating. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yay! All right.
Pants time.
Let's do it.
All right.
Wait, do you want to take mine off and I'll take yours off, or
Wait,
do that with underwear? Okay.
All right.
Here, I'll unbutton them. Make it easier for you.
Okay.
Ah.
Let him breathe.
Yes. All right. You've got the whole ass up in the air thing down.
I may have experience.
Might. Oh, I love this.
I know. Where's the fuck?
Where did you get these?
I actually got him as a gift.
Oh.
So I don't know. I don't know where they got him from. A boy gave him to me.
So shy. Yes. Okay. Last question. Do you want to go first, or should I?
Let's sit a little closer. Oh yeah, I would love to ask this one from you.
Okay.
What's your essential turn on for foreplay?
So I'm trying to think, because I've said a couple of these, and I want to try to find something new. Typically, my main thing is making out. It's the quickest way to turn me on. But I'm also really, really into sensory play. So anything that's little strokes that, massage, or I don't know if you've ever seen them. They have a bunch of different types, but they kind of look they're like a pizza wheel that has spikes on the ends.
Oh, spikes on it? Yes, I've seen those.
And I think they have all sorts of varying
They
types. Some
do.
of them are very painful to minimally painful.
Yeah.
I'm a little more on the minimally painful
Yeah,
side,
usually
but I
a
like
little sensation.
I like the little sensation. If it leaves a little bit of red mark, I don't mind. It's the I don't know, activating my nerves, because I find my ADHD, my mind wanders during sex so easily.
Same.
But if I have something that's constantly sparking nervous system signals, I can be in the moment better.
It's its own grounding thing, during sex.
Yes.
Wow, that's so interesting. Making out
How about you? What's your favorite turn-ons or foreplay?
For me, it's also making out, but also kisses on the neck get me.
Oh.
It's really anything on the neck. You can choke me.
Okay.
Not cut my blood circulation, just more of a little gentle, just put it there. That will get me.
Yeah.
That always gets me. I don't know why. It just does. I'm very much sub.
Yes.
I like things being done to me, and just what I like to say is this is how you get me to behave.
I love. Okay, this when I hear you saying that, it ties into the way that you've just embraced being tiny.
Yes. Exactly.
You've like really taken and you're like all the way, girl. All
Yes,
the way.
I tell people, especially those who are much larger than me, who can quite easily pick me up. I tell them, honestly, if you can pick me up and throw me around, do it.
Yes.
Do it. Like, move me, like, grope me, touch me, which I also love. Like, I love my ass being groped. Like, it's not very feminist of me, because, like, if I'm, like, out in public and someone touches my butt, I'm, like, most people will get offended by that.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, ooh, who's touching my butt?
Oh, I love
I'm
that.
like, ooh. Like, yeah, almost every single time I go out, like to the club or whatever, which isn't often, but I go out every now and then. Someone's always gonna touch my butt, and they always try to hide who did it. I'm like, no, don't hide. I want to know who did it.
Yeah.
Like, who touched my butt? I want to know.
You need some pants that just say, grab me.
Yeah. Is it time to get fully naked?
I think we should.
I think it's time.
Do you want to take my underwear off or should I take yours off first?
You should go first. Let's
Take you off.
Yeah.
All right. I approve this message. Here, if you have your legs outside, you know, it's probably easier. All right. Now, let's see that booty, huh?
Oh, that booty?
Yes. Oh my goodness, you do have a great butt.
See? And I love being
Hello.
groped. Yeah. And it slaps so well.
It slaps.
It
and it
slaps.
slaps.
And it slaps. All right. There it is.
There we go. Yay.
See that butt?
Okay.
Oh, you do have a nice butt. You do too.
Thank you.
Oh, love it.
Shall we cuddle a little bit?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes, there we go. Got that good booty shot. You are tiny, and so you just fit right in here.
I do.
May I kiss you?
Of course.
You want to sit on me? Oh yeah, I gotta choke you, right? Well, I'm so glad you came here today.
Me too.
Thank you for opening up and being your awesome self.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend so they too can become more confident. You can also help more people find the show by leaving a 5-star review wherever you listen. And if you want to become a more confident queer with support from yours truly, head to CoachAlexRay.com or use the link down in the show notes. I'm looking forward to working with you.